What if Apple's biggest foldable iPhone risk in 2026 isn't the hinge, isn't the display, and isn't even the price? What if it's the name? Because right now, the internet has basically decided to call Apple's first foldable the iPhone Ultra. It sounds premium. It sounds powerful. It sounds inevitable. But here's the twist. iPhone Ultra might be the one label Apple should avoid. In this video, we're breaking down 3 clear strategic reasons Apple should consider dropping the iPhone Ultra branding, especially if the foldable iPhone is set to debut this September, and what a smarter naming move could do for Apple's marketing, search visibility, and long-term product identity. If you follow Apple leaks, you've seen this cycle before. Every year, Ultra returns as a rumor. iPhone 15 Ultra didn't happen. iPhone 16 Ultra didn't happen. And now the foldable iPhone is being pulled into the same Ultra narrative before. Apple has even said a single official word, and that matters, because names aren't just labels. Names control perception. Names controlled search. Names control the story people tell about your product before it's even real. So let's get into the 3 reasons Apple should pause and, possibly, pivot before it ships a foldable iPhone with Ultra stamped on the box. Reason number 1, Ultra doesn't match iPhone's brand DNA. Let's start with Apple's own history. Apple doesn't use Ultra the way the smartphone world uses Ultra. In phones, especially Android, Ultra has become a default term for the most expensive one. Ultra usually means biggest camera, biggest screen, biggest battery, and the biggest price. But Apple's Ultra branding has meant something more specific. When Apple says Ultra, it typically signals one of 2 things: rugged, extreme use. Hardware like Apple Watch Ultra, built for endurance, adventure, and harsh environments. Peak computing tiers like the M Ultra chips, meant for serious workstation-level performance. Notice what's missing. Apple has never officially used Ultra to define the iPhone line. Even Pro has a clear identity: professional tools, premium materials, camera leadership, and performance. But Ultra on iPhone creates a brand mismatch. Is it rugged? Is it a workstation? Or is it simply expensive? A foldable iPhone already has a challenge. It needs to feel like Apple, not like a trend, and naming it Ultra risks framing it as Apple's attempt to copy the same Ultra ladder consumers see everywhere else. If Apple wants the foldable to feel like a new category, not just a bigger Pro, then it needs a name that signals new form factor and new era. Not same phone, higher tier. Reason number 2, iPhone Ultra is a search engine mess. Now here's the marketing reason that matters even more in 2026. Search. Go search iPhone Ultra and look at what you get. You don't get clean, official Apple information. You get years of speculation. Old predictions, conflicting leaks, wish lists that never happened. Articles that were written for iPhone 15 and iPhone 16 rumor cycles now resurfacing as if they apply to the foldable, and that's a problem because the day Apple launches a foldable, millions of people will search the name first, not the model number, not the internal synonym, the name. If Apple calls it iPhone Ultra, it inherits all that messy search history, outdated rumors, ranking hit comparisons written before real specs exist, inaccurate pricing claims, and recycled leak lists that don't match the final product. That's not just annoying, it's because the first impressions many buyers get will come from whatever Google and social feeds surface. But here's the alternative. If Apple introduces a fresh proprietary name, something truly new, Apple instantly gets a clean search slate. That means Apple's own product pages rank first. Yearly coverage focuses on confirmed features. Reviewers talk about the real device, not old guesswork, and the product narrative starts where Apple wants it to start, and a launch as important as Apple's first foldable, controlling the first wave of search results, is not optional. It's the difference between Apple reinvented the iPhone and wait, didn't this rumor say it would have a 3-day battery? A new name is a reset button, and Apple loves reset buttons. Reason number 3, Ultra invites pre-built comparisons. Apple can't control, here's the 3rd reason, and it's brutal. Ultra forces Apple into the wrong comparisons before the phone even exists. Right now, the tech internet already frames iPhone Ultra as a direct opponent to foldables and flagships that already use Ultra branding. So what happens? Apple's unreleased device gets compared to next-gen Galaxy Z Fold Moto Xiaomi Mix, Fold Line Xaner Magic Cirrusand, every Ultra phone already on Shozand. Those comparisons start early, sometimes months early, based on incomplete leaks. That creates a stacked playing field. Competitors look ahead because their specs are known. Apple looks behind because its specs are guessed and headlines get written, like the outcome is already decided. Even worse. Ultra is a word that consumers associate with certain expectations. Huge battery, extreme zoom, aggressive. Hardware specs best on paper, performance. Apple often wins differently. Apple wins with integration. Hardware plus software tuning, long-term performance, stability up, ecosystem care, consistency. Not just zoom number sand features that work reliably for years. So if Apple walks into the foldable race wearing the Ultra label, it's stepping into a measuring contest built around other companies' definitions of premium. But if Apple chooses a unique name, one that doesn't automatically trigger Ultra versus Ultra comparison culture, then Apple can shape the category on its own terms. Foldable usability, literality, standards, multi-tank with iOS design, changes, intelligence features built for dual screens, continuity with Mac and iPad. Workflow sand, the Apple ecosystem advantage that competitors can't replicate. In other words, a new name lets Apple change the conversation from who has the biggest spec sheet to who has the best experience. What should Apple call IT instead? So if not iPhone Ultra, what then? Apple has a few smart directions. It could take names that communicate new form instead of same hierarchy. Option A, a name that signals a new category, something like iPhone Foldaphone Flip if it's a clamshell. Though current rumors lean book style, iPhone Wphone, Flex, simple, searchable, and instantly understandable. Option B, a premium sub-brand that feels Apple-likeable, tends to prefer clean, timeless words, something that can scale for a decade. Because if foldables become a permanent category, Apple will likely release multiple generations. Option C, a name that sits beside Pro, not above it, instead of Ultra. Apple could position Foldable as a parallel flagship, not more than Pro, but different from Pro. That's key. Because a foldable isn't just a bigger iPhone, it's a different iPhone. Why this decision could define Apple's next 10 years. This isn't just a debate about a word. This is about Apple's premium product architecture for the future. Because once Apple introduces a foldable, the entire iPhone lineup strategy changes. Where does foldable sit in pricing? Does it replace a Pro Max tier? Does it become its own family like iPad? How does Apple evolve iOS to support a phone that becomes a small tablet? And whichever executive team leads this era, whether it's the current leadership or future leadership, will be defining how Apple sells premium for the next decade. If Apple uses Ultra now, it might be locked into Ultra later. But if Apple creates a new name now, it owns that category forever. So here are the 3 reasons Apple should consider dropping iPhone Ultra for its foldable launch. Ultra doesn't naturally fit iPhone's brand identity the way it fits Watch Ultra or M Ultra. The iPhone Ultra search ecosystem is already polluted with years of outdated speculation. Ultra forces unfair, premature comparisons and traps Apple inside competitors' marketing language. Apple's first foldable iPhone is going to be judged on durability, design, iOS changes, battery life, and how well it fits into real life. But before anyone even touches it, the world will judge it by the name. And if Apple wants to win the story, not just the spec sheet, the smartest move might be the simplest one. Don't call it Ultra. Call it something only Apple can own.